One, check, two, check, check, yo.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. Alright, sounds good.
Good to go when you are.
Yep. So I'm here with 4 close personal friends of mine. Introduce yourselves to the millions of viewers at home.
My name's Ami. I'm Sam.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Jack.
Jack. Yeah, Round Rosie.
And I'm Adrian.
Adrian.
And we're cooking class.
You are cooking class.
Yes, sir.
So, y'all like the chef? Like, I hear that name and I think, I think the greats, I think Bourdain, I think
We definitely dabble in the kitchen a little bit.
Okay. So what's the inspiration behind that name?
I'd say like when we first started making music, Sam would just hit me up and be like, yo, you trying to cook up? We'd be like, all right. Like,
That's how I
just came
describe
up with
making music as well. So,
precisely.
yeah. So you like to cook up, so you're the cooking class. So do you teach other people how to make music as well, or is that just a hypothetical phrase that y'all like to
Nah,
use?
that's just the name of the
That's
band.
just the name of the group.
Teach
So
them how to enjoy music.
who are your influences? Like who do you like to emulate in your music?
I'd say I think the coolest thing about when we started making music together is my background was more in jazz and rock, and his background was in hip hop and R&B. So I think that sort of our sound is kind of an amalgamation of the two, and it's been cool to kind of develop it over time and tinker with it and whatnot. But I'd say in terms of actual artist influences, I know that we both bonded a lot over Dominic Fike. We bonded a lot over the Strokes, over a bunch of far less known bands that we've sort of shared over the last couple of years. And it's been a cool journey.
And
in that way.
you said that's how you bonded, but the 4 of you as a unit, how did you bond in the first place? How did all y'all meet? Same time, school, life?
Yeah, basically, Jack and I have known each other since we were 3. We went to elementary school with one another, and I think you guys went to middle school. And then, so last summer, when we were putting the band together to start performing live, I knew Jack as a drummer, he knew Adrian as a guitarist, and just came together like that.
So y'all are locked in,
Locked
like
in.
a door or a fence per se. Very nice.
We've had a lot of fun, especially for me. The whole playing live thing was very new for me before this band.
You never played a show before?
Played shows, but not in the context not outside of a school setting really. So it was very new.
First time in a dingy little basement.
And a venue, and that my teacher didn't put together for me.
Yeah, not a recital. It's
Exactly,
it's a
exactly.
different ball game. Yeah.
Precise. And so I think that sort of creating that sort of on stage vibe, I think we all really like each other, which helps. We get along well off not playing music. And so that kind of transferred over really nicely. And I guess especially over the last year, we've been playing together now for almost a little over a year. And it's definitely been especially these last couple months, we've really started to really enjoy each other's company a lot more. We're still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
We all knew one of the other people, but it wasn't we all came from. So that's been really awesome.
Same way I have a lot of my friends. And
Exactly.
Things along those lines, but
Exactly.
Workplaces have retreats. What is cooking classes activity of choice for y'all all to do together and really manifest that bond? What do y'all like to do?
So that's a two-sided question, because we haven't had a ton of time together to chill, because Jack and I were away for the last few months in Europe.
Where were you at? Europe?
Yeah, we were in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
But I would
my
say-
father's Dutch. He's
Oh, no
from
way.
there, so yeah.
There you go.
Kuhaten, yeah. yeah.
Prima.
Yeah. yeah.
I don't remember too much Dutch.
Yeah, it's
But I'd say given some time, we'd definitely go play some basketball. I think we're all pretty big basketball fans.
Big
and
ballers, Nets, Knicks.
Knicks, come on.
Come on. Is Dolan ever gonna sell, or are you ever gonna experience the
Hey.
beautiful feeling of a ring in your life?
Sure hope so.
Yeah,
We might get Spider-Man. We might get Spider.
it's possible. Anything's possible.
you're probably right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely been something that like I think off rip like it was something we all kind of connected on and were able to like chat about. And then obviously like that's like how we get introduced, and then we obviously are learning about each other's families, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd say like one thing that I always have a lot of fun doing with these guys is just like we hang out. We'll schedule like a 2-hour, 3-hour practice, and we just like goof around a lot, and it's like a blast. And I think that like given more time in the same place, like that would probably obviously happen more recreationally. But
the key to a long friendship is at least 2 or 3 ongoing bits, years-long bits that
there you go.
you just regurgitate randomly at times. No one else knows what the fuck you're talking about, but you do, and that's what's important. That's really what's important. So, what are y'all working on right now? You got a project? You got a little EP? You got a little?
Yeah, we can't talk about that.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
Just fucking around. Yeah. We just put out a couple singles, and we're working on. I think we're gearing towards an album. Definitely have a pretty sweet single in the works that we're gonna play for the first time tonight. And probably after that, just build the album.
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, a project's like fine wine. When it's ready, it's ready.
Exactly.
When it's not, it's not. Got to put your foot in it first. Make sure they know you really love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I noticed you're wearing the pleasure shorts. The pleasure shorts. You're you big Fitzman yourself?
I definitely fuck around.
Because I feel like you can't really talk about music without talking about the culture of fashion and what people wear, because that's how we express yourself. You're walking down the street, they don't know that you listen to Waves, but they do know that you're wearing a pretty solid fit. So you got the pleasure. I don't know what that shirt is though. What is that shirt?
It's a Portuguese brand, skate brand.
So you got that when you were traveling the world, Amsterdam, Portugal, anywhere.
Something like that.
And how about that? Because that caught my eye as well.
This is actually, if you want to give me free stuff, the brand is called Rucking Fountain.
Always looking for
yeah,
flow.
and
Always
it's a Japanese streetwear brand, and they do like vintage stuff that's really great. And I would love to have free stuff. So
Yeah, always looking for free stuff. Get the closets full. Get the closets full.
Indeed.
So Sultan Room, you've played a few shows here and there. This is a beautiful venue itself. But what was the first show that y'all all played together?
You want to take this one?
We played our first show last summer, and part of the reason was we started making music right before COVID.
And
and
tough time to hop in.
Right, and so we released like our first single in early March of 2020, and so obviously like 2-3 weeks later, COVID was like pretty much in full swing. So we played our first show last summer after having released a bunch of music on streaming platforms. We played a show at Pianos last August, which is a venue. It's on the Lower East Side, right?
Yeah,
it's on the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was such a fun time. Like, had so much support. We sold out the show, and it was like our first show, which was awesome.
That's a good place to start at. It has a lot of notoriety for people who got on the
No, it was a blast, and it gave us a lot of confidence going forward that like, okay, like we can do this. Like, we're not just a studio band. Like, we can play this stuff live, and like people like it, and we think it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Pianos was our first show. And that was like, we also actually were playing with another person, so at that point it was a little bit more confusing, but since we sort of refined our group and our situation a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you really don't know until you hit that first show. You know what the Wright brothers said? They said, a lot of motherfuckers want to be in the air, but they ain't ready to fly. They didn't really say that, I just made that up, but I bet you believed me, because I'm a very credible person.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I believe you are.
Dante said that.
Dante said that.
Put that in quotes here.
Quote,
All motherfuckers
quote.
while being there. Dante.
Man, yeah. So when I talk about inspirations, I find that very important to me. There is what you listened to when you were younger that really got you going. But what are you listening to right now that you hear it? Because I myself do music, and when I find myself in a creative rut, I listen to artists that I love to put me in the space to create.
Yeah.
So let's say you're just not feeling it today. You're not in that creative space, that creative mood. You got to put that one song on there. You're going to be like, fuck, man, I want to run through a motherfucking wall, Like, get you in that space. What's that for you?
I think as of late, Omar Apollo's been real big
That
inspiration
Tamagotchi.
of mine. Tamagotchi. When I heard that, I was like, there's a whole like world out there that I have not even been exploring.
Yeah.
I gotta tap into. But I think something that's unique about us is like individually, we have a lot of overlap in our music taste, but definitely our favorites kind of.
So you share songs a lot.
Yeah.
There's, you know, let's say per se a group chat. It's like, everyone listen to this, listen to that, listen to that.
That's
Yeah,
how we
that's
became friends. We
yeah.
literally like would sort of make beats and listen to music. Like that's sort of how cooking class started. Honestly, was like Ami and I being like, all right, like let's make a beat. And afterwards, we listened to like a ton of music, and he would show me what he's listening to, and I'd show him what I'm listening to. And like over time, we were just like, all right, these beats are sounding kind of cool, and we have a lot of common. We get along really well. Like let's try and make this a little bit more formal. I think that one thing that's really cool, especially is because we have such different musical backgrounds, like it shows in the music. Like it's very clear that there's like a bunch of different ideas coming to the table, which has been such a privilege, because I've learned so much new music and like been able to explore so many genres and artists that I never would have listened to without him.
Yeah.
And it's also influenced. I mean, like he's influenced my writing, the way I treat people. You know what I mean? Like it goes beyond just that stuff.
It's a real give and go.
Yeah, and I think that specifically for me, like I've always been like a huge David Bowie fanatic. So trying to find ways to pull from his influence while still sort of keeping current is something that I'm always like cognizantly thinking about. But yeah, I think that one of the most beautiful things about what we do is that we do have different music tastes, and like we're able to kind of explore that all in the context of one song or one record or one show.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going for this right now. Let's all try to zero in on that little style. Yeah. So, were you the drummer?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, drummer's always very quiet. Yeah. Yeah, but I see the Bob Ross socks, so I know you're a Fitzman yourself, the Japanese Bob Ross. Crazy.
And the mismatch.
And the mismatch.
You
You
know.
know, it's hard to keep it's hard to keep two socks. Come on, it's like you're constantly throwing them in the washing machine. They go into that alternate dimension where all the lost items go to. It happens like every other day. So it's hard to keep two. I have both of mine because I never lose anything. But, you know, we can't all be that. No, but yeah. So what's that? What's the shirt? Big yeah.
Oh, this one, nothing special. It's just from Zara.
Okay, but
Children probably made it, you know.
yeah, children probably did make it, unfortunately. You know, capitalism, America, life. What do you do? Neoliberalism. It's great. Yeah, not really, it's not. But
It's not good at all, really.
yeah, it's not good at all. But you know, we're here and we have to fucking deal with it regardless. Yeah, we gotta make art, survive, music, life, love.
We're also all about to change before the show.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not- it's the
so is it a
pre-fits.
temptation situation where you're all gonna be wearing 3-piece suits?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
no.
that's
no.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a doo-wop thing.
Yeah,
now,
that's super interesting.
Yeah, no. It was too hot to wear what I was gonna wear
Oh,
to here.
yeah.
So I brought.
You gotta
shades
hit the
of
green
clothes.
room, get some snacks,
Exactly.
put on the
Exactly.
outfits. Yeah.
Yeah, these subway platforms, man, they've been
yeah.
tough recently.
Yeah, the door opens and it's like you're stepping into hell. It's like a little sneak preview of whatever the hell is happening after we go.
Yeah, that's where I'll be
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Worth mentioning though that you and Miles killing the Hawaiian shirt,
Oh
tank
yeah.
top vibe.
Yeah, no, we're always twinning. I like to look like a very stressed out Jim Crow father. That's what I'm always going for all the time. But yeah, you know.
Well, it's working.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. Yeah. So once again, I'm gonna need y'all to say your names, and I'm gonna need you to say the band name and where the people can find you.
Let's do it. I'm Ami.
I'm Sam.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Adrian.
We're Cooking Class. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Follow our Instagram at Cooking Class Music. Check us out on TikTok. Don't sleep.
This is 11th Street TV. This is Desi, your North America correspondent, checking out.
Shout out 11th Street TV. They're the goats. Shout out Miles. Shout out Dante.
Shout out Mark Murphy and Maddie Pappas.
Oh yeah, shout out our beautiful manager and super talented Maddie Pappas. Thank you.
Hold up. 11th Street? Y'all ain't heard of him?